Happening tonight, it's Election Day across the state of Washington. This is a live look from Seattle at one of the many ballot drop boxes. Remember, you have until 8 p.m. to return your ballot for it to be counted. Now here's a live look inside King County Elections headquarters in Renton, where workers have been busy all day sorting, verifying, counting ballots ahead of tonight's results, which should come down just after 8 p.m. And we have team coverage tonight, including Stella Sun with a look at voter turnout. But we begin with KOMO senior reporter Chris Daniels and a look at the key races that could shape the future of Seattle for years to come. Chris?
Yeah, Preston, we have seen a steady stream of drivers here in Magnolia coming to drop off their ballots tonight. This is a part of town here in Seattle where the incumbent mayor, Bruce Harrell, is going to have to perform as well as he did in the primary. His challenger, Katie Wilson, performed better in denser parts of the city, and she may be riding part of a national trend. Bumper to bumper, voter after voter, with ballots and an opinion.
Mayor of Seattle is important. We got to get the right person in there to revive the city, to bring improvements.
City needs better organization, and I think she'll be good at it.
Regular housing access is becoming really limited for people who are in like the middle class.
That opinion from Demi Smith is the likely top issue for Seattleites as they make what could be a sweeping change at City Hall. Socialist Katie Wilson is seeking to unseat the incumbent Bruce Harrell, with 3 city council seats up for grabs. Progressive Dion Foster looks to unseat Council President Sarah Nelson, and Erica Evans appears poised to unseat City Attorney Ann Davison after she easily defeated the incumbent in the primary. A potential sea change that doesn't even take into account King County will also be electing a new executive too.
Every poll I've seen, including some private polling, has shown Katie Wilson still ahead of the mayor, right?
Yet veteran political consultant Sandeep Kaushik also believes anger amongst local Democrats over federal issues could lead voters to make a statement.
I think it has really made voters in cities like Seattle much more unhappy with the status quo, much more anxious about the future, and therefore much more inclined to vote for big, significant change, right? So I think that has all played into Katie Wilson's favor in terms of the landscape of this election.
And we should know the narrative just a couple of hours from now. A Wilson victory tonight would also show just how the ground has shifted in Seattle in a short amount of time. 2 years ago, we saw a slate of moderate candidates win Seattle City Council seats who had campaigned on public safety platforms. And 4 years ago, Harrell won the position as mayor in a race that he won by 17 points. Preston.
Chris, do we know anything specifically about turnout, how that may impact the races?
Yeah, again, with Harrell in Magnolia, and really think about communities that are near the water, that is where he has to perform well tonight. He did extremely well during the primary in those areas, and when turnout is higher, it's thought that it will favor the incumbent. Right now, according to King County elections, that number is about 30%. Harrell, when he won 4 years ago, was at 55%, but as we have seen here tonight, a lot of people are waiting just before that 8 o'clock deadline to drop off their ballot.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Well, there are 2 other mayoral races we are watching tonight. Victoria Woodard's not running for re-election in Tacoma because of term limits, so voters will choose between John Hines and Anders Ibsen as her successor. Voters in Everett will decide whether incumbent Mayor Cassie Franklin will get another term. She faces challenger Scott Murphy. For the first time in 16 years, an incumbent will not appear on the ballot for King County Executive. Current County Council members Gurmai Zahalai and Claudia Balducci are running for that position. Currently, statewide voter turnout is sitting at more than 25%. KOMO Stella Sun is live at the King County Elections Office with more on what voters are saying about the general election. Stella?
Every election, whether it's a federal election, state, or even a local election, impacts lives. But many of the voters that we spoke with feel that tonight's general election will impact their lives even more so, and that's because there's a lot of local races on the ballot. At Lumen Field.
And how can I help you vote today?
The stadium becomes a voting center on Election Day.
We just wanted to come down and vote in person.
Whether it's showing up in person to the 62 voting centers across Washington.
I moved recently and my ballot didn't show up, so I came here. I'm really grateful that the county elections departments have these offices open.
It took like 15 minutes to get registered to vote, and it took me about 10 or 15 minutes to vote.
Or swinging by one of the 554 total ballot drop-off boxes across the state.
I just dropped off my ballot.
Voters say the November general election matters.
I'm far more interested in the local elections because I feel like they affect us more.
Like in every city, there's, attention to the homelessness, crime, keeping our streets clean. I think for me that directly impacts me as a single woman living in the city. I want to make sure that who I'm voting for is keeping the areas safe and clean.
The Secretary of State's office says election security is getting even more beefed up.
We've really upped our game in terms of cybersecurity, but it's hard to get in front of it because we're dealing with nation-state actors. We're dealing with Russia, China, North Korea, and extremist groups.
There's more than 5,100,000 registered voters in the state. Secretary of State Steve Hobbs estimates there will be 35 to 40% voter turnout when all the snail mail ballots are returned.
We have to get together on one thing. It should be to vote. If we don't do nothing else, we should vote.
Regardless of who wins, voters say democracy prevails.
Well, I think that it's really important that I am part of the democracy and I use my voice to make a change in democracy that represents all walks of life.
Now, here at the King County Elections headquarters, there's been waves of voters driving by, slipping in their ballots at the ballot drop-off box behind me. Now, tabulation will begin here at 8 p.m. We're live here at King County headquarters. Stella Sun, KOMO News.
Stella, thank you. And as you heard her mention, statewide turnout stands at a little more than 25% as of this evening. Just under 26% of ballots have been returned in King County. Turnout in Pierce County is closing in on 21%, and 24% of ballots in Snohomish County have been returned so far. Time now for tonight's KOMO Pulse poll. Scan the QR code to answer this question this evening. Do you think today's election results will have a positive impact on your community? Live results show 21% say yes, 79% say no. You still have time to vote. We'll update the results for you tonight at 11.
And count on complete coverage here on KOMO for election night coverage. We'll have results at the bottom of your screen as soon as they come down just after 8 p.m. And early reaction and analysis live on the KOMO News YouTube channel. Then tune in for more complete coverage at 10 p.m. on CW Arc Seattle and right here for KOMO News at 11. You can also get constant updates as they happen on social media and at KOMOnews.com.